Pre-qualifying sellers, closing at the appointment. Okay, first things first. This is page 62 in your playbook. Okay, first things first. We're talking strategy, because if I want to be able to close better, I have to pre-qualify my seller. So number one, pre-qualify 100% of the time, 100% of the script. Mike Ferry taught me that way back in the day. Okay, pre-qualify 100% of the time, 100% of the script. Now I can tell you this, the pre-qualification script is pre-qualifying for motivation. It's the most important piece of your conversation, and it's the most underutilized conversation in real estate. I promise you, it's the most underutilized conversation in real estate, because we're going to find out why. Because, okay, pre-qualifying is the X factor. It's the deciding factor on how efficient you can be. Okay, agents get really excited about getting an appointment. And so they just go to the appointment. They prepare for the appointment without really figuring out what's going on with look, I want to serve more people. Everybody say yes.
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 I want to help more people because I know it makes me more money, Don McBride. And so with that, then I have to understand them, because if I understand them, Don, that's when I really get to serve more people. The pre-qualification step helps me learn about who it is that I'm talking to, Ori, before I get to that appointment. Now, what pre-qualification questions you're going to need, Ori, you got to figure that out. Okay, because I'm going to show you guys some pre-qualification questions that are important for you to have answered before you sit down with them at the appointment. Okay. Now, one of the other reasons why people don't pre-qualify is that they get scared. They're in fear of losing the appointment. Well, what if I start asking them all these questions and then they respond in a way where they're not interested in coming? Well, then was that really an opportunity in the first place? Was it really? I mean, if they're not going to show up because they're not going to answer a question in regards to their motivation or situation, look, there's a high likelihood they weren't going to cooperate with you in the first place. Golden rule, not on this page. All the golden rules in the playbook are in orange. It's the closest I could get to gold in Word. Golden rule: situation equals motivation equals cooperation. I almost missed it. Okay. Motivation equals cooperation, Don. Motivation equals cooperation. The more motivated they are, the more they'll cooperate. Now, look, I have to earn that trust still in the conversation. Okay. Let's not be fooled here. I still have to earn trust. We talked about that last week. But when they're motivated, they'll cooperate. All I'm talking about at this point is answering more questions. Okay. Another reason why you won't pre-qualify: your ego. Right? You're not interested in following a script or a system, and you want to wing it, and you know that you're good at talking to people, so you're just going to have a conversation because you don't want to sound scripted. That's called stupid. Okay? Because when you try to wing it, when you don't know what you're doing, look, really, what's on the line here? Really, what's on the line? Because for them, this is a $300,000 deal, a $500,000 deal. For you, it's $10,000. It's $20,000. That's what's on the line right now. So pre-qualifying, and you're just trying to wing it or practice it. Okay. So look, since most agents don't pre-qualify, doing it will set you apart from the competition. Clearly, you demonstrate yourself as a professional when you pre-qualify. Okay. And what it ends up doing is separating the have-tos and the really, really need tos from the, if it sells for the price that I want it to, twos. Right? Now, some of you guys, you have clients and you're like, so why are they selling? You don't even know. You don't even know where they're going. Don't raise your hand. But some of you guys don't know. Okay? Is that really a high level of service, integrity of customer service, when you don't know where they're going? Now, look, some of you might say, well, look, it doesn't really matter, Paul. I don't know. Does it? Does it? Do you know the level of what's on the line here, of the severity of what happens if this doesn't happen? Or worse for you is the fact that they're really not that motivated. And you're wasting all this time, because last time I checked, we don't get paid by the hour. Okay, so really understanding the really have tos or the really, really need tos. For me, it was an 8 out of 10. Like, you had to at least be an 8 or a 9 or a 10. Okay. And so have tos, really, really need tos. Okay, I'm on number 6. Building rapport or relationship is important, but remember, true relationships are built on trust, which takes time. Initially, your main focus is still going to be to pre-qualify thoroughly to better connect with communication that better understands them so you can service them better. Okay, here's my point with that. Some of you guys, because you're trying to have a conversation and get them to like you, because you've heard people do business with people they
like, know, and trust.
Like and trust.
Like and trust. Okay, but some of you guys are stuck on the like and you're not earning the trust. You're trying to be liked. Okay. Oh, I have a Shih Tzu too. Oh, I love the Pittsburgh Steelers. Come on. That's fine, Don. That's fine. But that doesn't earn me trust, does it? Okay.
No, it doesn't.
So rapport is okay, but you're trying to earn trust. So let's not lose sight of the fact here that I'm trying to earn trust as a professional who's looking to represent an asset of $250,000, of $500,000, of $1 million. Let's not lose sight of that. That's the true type of rapport that you're looking to gain. Okay, so just a pointer, keep the pre-qualification script everywhere so you're reminded to do it. So you stick to it and you ask most of the questions. I'm going to get to that script in a minute because all of the questions are important. So you get to the critical questions sooner in the conversation. Look, here's the bottom line. Pre-qualification draws out objections before the appointment. Who wants the answers to the test before you take the test? Say me.
Me.
Only Don. Okay, so when you ask these questions, you find out what their fears, doubts, insecurities are. And then you get to be prepared for them versus being ambushed by them when you get to the appointment. That's why pre-qualification is important. On top of all this other stuff, is to provide value proposition on what's important to the client, not you. Okay, the value proposition, what's important to the client, not you. Okay, here's what I mean by that. Sometimes you think something's important and that's not what's important to them. You been there on an appointment like that, Corey?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the listings I just took.
What happened?
I almost talked myself out of it in a way because I looked at it based on what the comps are telling me their home is going to like realistically sell for and what the commission is going to be like on that. And I'm like, it's basically a wash, right? It's something that they built a year or two ago, not a huge amount of like equity into it. I'm like, man, it's almost coming out of a wash, or maybe even a chance of like losing a little bit of cash, right? And like, why would somebody want to sell, or why would they want to pay me to do it without even considering the fact of like, you know, man, some people don't care. That's not their thought. Like, she just wants a bigger yard and a bigger yard for her dog. That's the biggest like prime mover. And like,
right.
Awesome. All right, so, let's go shop.
So Corey, that's what the pre-qualification script does, is allow me into the mind of the prospect so that I may know, because when I think and know what I think and feel, I know nothing. Yeah. What they think and know, what they think and feel, okay, now I know. I took a listing once in Las Vegas, and the people had lived there, I think it was like 6 months, just several months. Sold their property. They paid to get out of the house. You know why? They hated the neighborhood. That's it. Nothing else. They hated the neighborhood. So they sold the property, took a loss, and went and moved to another neighborhood. Fine. If that's what they want. Okay, so pre-qualification helps me understand my clients so I can serve more people. That's what we were first talking about. Okay. And so then also to value proposition, what's important to the client, not you, because now we were talking personally about what's important to them. And that's what Corey was talking about. But look, you may think that you want to talk about marketing all day and all night. Not important to them. May not be, right? You may think that the commission is going to be a big deal because it's such a big commission. They may not care. Okay. Whatever it is that you may think is not important, because what they think and what they feel is, and you'll know when you pre-qualify at a higher level so that you may understand whether you really want to go out on this appointment or not. Because if you can establish that you can disqualify the appointment, man, nowadays I'm looking to disqualify. Give me a reason, man. Give me a reason, please. Because when you generate, you don't have to tolerate. When you generate, you don't have to tolerate. What's that mean? What do you think that means, Mariola?
Okay, I am. I'm so sorry.
Generate, you don't have to
It
tolerate. What's that mean for you?
it means that I will only choose what I want to work with, whom I want to work with, and sell the one I want to sell, not the one
Yeah.
I don't want to, or I
When you-
cannot sell.
When you're not generating, when you're not lead generating, you're very limited in regards to the scope of people you have to deal with, and you'll tolerate quite a bit, won't you, Don?
Yes, you will.
Things that you wouldn't normally, if you had 3 or 4 listings and you had 2 or 3 escrows and somebody starts quacking like a duck on resistance or not following the process, you'd probably be a lot more inclined to just dismiss that person or let them know that they need to get into alignment, or you're not working with them, wouldn't you?
Yes, you will.
Yeah. Okay. So look, generate so you don't have to tolerate. Okay. John Joseph, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'll give him props. He gave me that one. I think he got that one from somebody too, though. We're all ripping off and repeating, by the way. Okay. Set standards. Pre-qualifying helps you set standards. Look, what are your standards as far as how overpriced you'll take a listing? The types of clients you'll work with, and if they're answering the questions or not answering the questions, what type of person that you'll take as far as how well they're listening and following direction and following your process, because you should be taking 75% of the listings you go on. Period. It shouldn't be 50-50. And National Association of Realtors, anybody know the number?
30%.
Yeah, Corey, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, about 30%.
Yep. How about it's right on the page right there where you can all see it. Okay, 30%. 30%. That's pathetic. It's pathetic. Okay. Come on. No, 30% on a test, no matter what industry you're in, is bad. Okay. That's just bad. And then you hear what's worse is a lot of you guys have brokers, and the broker's like, yeah, expect to take half. 50% on your test? Are you freaking kidding me? 50%. Look, 75%, you should be able to easily take 75% of the listings you go on by pre-qualifying and following a pre-qualification process. Now, my team typically hangs around 85%. I love people who are like, I take 100%. You did 8 deals last year, dude. Relax. Okay. Or I took 100%. They were all sphere of influence. Now, look, you take 100% of 20 or 25 listings you go on. Good for you. That's your business. But I want to grow my business, which means I'm going to take some risks. I'm going to step out of the box talking to people that I don't know, and I'm trying to earn their trust. I'm in the process of earning their trust. And some of those I'm just going to lose. Nobody goes undefeated. Real businesses. I'm talking about businesses that grow. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not dismissing or putting down those other people. That's just different situation. Okay. But 75%, look, that should be your benchmark.
So, hey, Paul, though, you had mentioned taking listings that are overpriced. Do you recommend doing that?
I do.
Really? Okay.
Here's why, Josh. Because you're all going to do it no matter what. You're all going to do it. You're all going to do it. Look, I'm super high D, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. But guess what? When you ain't generating enough, you'll tolerate and you'll take it. Now, what's your toleration? For me, it was 5%. It's 5%, 3 to 5%. Now, the further above we go, the higher the motivation, because I remember taking a listing in Las Vegas and it was 10% overpriced, way overpriced. Now, the reason I took it is he was a 10 plus on motivation, and I had a stern conversation. Today's not a price reduction Today's not a price reduction consultation. This is not a coaching session around that, around how to price reduction and set yourself up for price reductions. But I had set myself up successfully with having the conversation before the conversation, having a price reduction in place before I took the listing. Now, even if you don't get that, right, still there better be some damn clear conversation around where we need to be based on market conditions and showings. Because here's what we know. If we're getting 3 to 5 showings a week and we still don't have any offers, we're probably still 3% overpriced. And don't give me this crap that, these yeah buts. Yeah buts. Well, yeah, but the road. Well, yeah, but the other house. Well, yeah, but the house is yeah, but this. Yeah, but that. It's the price. It always comes back. Yeah, that may be the case, the yeah, but. And the answer is the price. Because you can't move the road that's behind it. You can't move the neighbor who's next door who has his RV up on blocks. You're going to have to lower your price. Okay? It's always about the price. So when we talked about standards, setting standards, Josh, what are your standards for taking overpriced listings as far as how much overpriced you'll take them? You got to figure that out for yourself. That's the good news, is that this is your business. You get to set that standard. And for how long will you leave it overpriced? What are the metrics for overpricing? What are the numbers as far as overpricing a home? Well, we'll leave it for 2 weeks, for a week, for 30 days. Well, those are probably going to be subjective based on area, because certain areas just yield different statistics and data, right? Some area, it's normal to be on the market 30 days. Some neighborhoods, it's normal to be on the market 30 days and price points, versus some other areas in the same city where it's normal to be on the market 7 days. So if we don't get an offer in 2 or 3 days, we probably need a price reduction if the average days on market is 7 days. Okay, now we're talking about closing at the listing appointment. This is all too, I know we're talking about pre-qualifying and setting up for success, strategy to set up for success, but all of this is going to help me better close at the appointment, how well prepared we are. Okay, before we jump into the script, because I want to do that quickly, I want to fly through that in less than 5 minutes. Questions, comments, concerns?
All the above, Paul. All the above.
Well, give it to me. What do you got?
Oh, man. Well, you know, Austin market, it's 0 days on market right now, and that's kind of how we roll. So my concern is if a house on the market for more than a couple of days, it gets a black eye and nobody wants to take a look at it because they assume there's something wrong with it. And dropping the price puts the buyer in control, not the seller. And I tell my sellers all the time, would you rather have 15 offers to compete against, or you have one offer against which you are competing with the buyer?
Yeah. Yep. Let's do a round robin super quick on this. We did this last week. I want you guys to really start to be able to ask better questions. So Real Sales Talk is about powering up my communication so that I can create better relationships and serve more people. Okay. So the think feel question last week, think feel question tied to a risk or reward. So Joshy, I want to do that right now. A think feel question tied to a risk. Let's do that. Think feel tied to a risk around overpricing. So you just said something around that.
Yeah. How would you feel if I brought you 15 offers and they had to compete against one another?
Okay. That's a reward. That's good. Yeah. So reward or risk is fine. So, we'll kick it like this. I kick it to you, Josh, and then Josh, you kick it to somebody else by just asking the question. So it looks like this: think or feel tied to a risk or reward. So Josh, how would you feel if overpricing your home meant chasing the market down and getting less than you expected initially? So
Dom, how would you feel if we have to lower your price by $20,000 and the buyers are in control of the transaction?
Mariola, how would you feel if we had to lower the price on your home and you did not get as many offers?
There we go. I like it. Good. That's Don. Perfect. Feel question tied to a risk. Okay. Tied to a risk or reward. Mariola, kick it to somebody else.
How would you feel to stay on the market for another 6 months?
Okay. Time out now. That's what, but why? Tie that to what's the risk? What's the consequence of that?
How would you feel to stay on the market for another 6 months and then get less for your property?
Okay, there we go. Martin, go. Kick it to somebody, Martin.
How would you feel if you had an aggressive agent from the start who could bring you more buyers versus not bringing you the most amount of buyers? I'll kick it over to Farragut.
Corey.
Sure. How would you feel if your home doesn't sell?
Oh, hold on. Time out. Tie me to a risk though. Your home doesn't sell. That's what. So what?
Gotcha. Okay. So Cedric, how would you feel if your home didn't sell and you weren't able to downsize and move to Florida
There we go.
you originally planned?
That's it. That's it. So see, now look, some of us we're saying what's going to happen, but so what? So what? What does that mean? Because we say what the consequence is, but we don't tie it to something, and we don't tie it to something, they don't get it. They don't get it. Okay. So these are great questions. Okay. Janae, here we go, Janae. Think, feel question. Tied to a risk or reward.
How would you feel if your property only got one offer and we had to dance to the tune of the buyer's wants and desires?
Okay, there we go. I like that. If you're a high I personality, that was good. That's good. All right, Christina, give me a think, feel tied to a risk or reward with that idea.
How would you feel if your home got on the market and people perceived that there was something wrong with it?
Yeah, I like that. So how would you feel if your home was on the market a long period of time and people started to feel there was something wrong with it? What do you think that would do for your ability to get the most money you could? Yeah, that was good. I like it. Deborah, think, feel me.
I'm trying to think of a question, kind of like blank.
Yep, so it's think, feel tied to a risk or reward. So we're talking about the consequences of overpricing. So look, I'll give you a pass, Deborah. But
okay.
The matter of the fact is that I'm going to close at the appointment. I'm going to have to ask better questions versus just tell them. Okay, versus just tell them. All right, okay. Let me scroll down here to the pre-qualification script. Okay, now I'm gonna go through this super fast. Okay, before I come out, there's a few questions I need to ask. Is that okay? Get an agreement. If I make sense, if what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident I can sell your home, are you planning to list with me when I come out on Tuesday at 4? Look, let's just get right to it. Let's not beat around the bush that when I come out, we're talking about business. Don't play with this. I've already done that. It doesn't work. Okay. I'm telling you right now, these are battle tested strategically. The sequence of the questions are there for a reason. I tried to play with this once upon a time. You want people to know why you're coming out. Are you planning on interviewing more than one agent for the job of selling your home? Ori, start thinking about how you can create your own pre-qualification script around this. Okay. And when they say they do know somebody, go 3 questions deep. Go 3 questions deep. How do you know them? Are they full-time or part-time? Do they specialize in the area? Have you done business with them before? Do they work on the team or do they have their own business? Because I promise you,
are they a listing agent?
Are they buyer's agent or are they a listing agent? Because I promise you, they don't know the answer to one of those questions. Now, when there's doubt, there's opportunity for you. Okay. Tell me again where you're moving to. How soon do you need to be there? Corey, tell me why it's important for you to move. What would that do for you? When I see you, how much you want to list your home for. As a professional, I study homes. I study the market. So when you do decide to list with me, you want to list at a price that'll cause it to sell while still being able to get the most money possible. Correct? Let me tell you something. That's beautiful. I reworded fairy script on that because what happens is that if you just say, hey, I assume that you'll list at a price that'll cause it to sell. Correct? 9 times out of 10, they go, well, I don't want to give it away. So beat them to the punch and go, hey, I study the market. And when you do decide to list with me, embedded command, you want to list at a price that'll cause it to sell while still being able to get the most money possible, right? And they go, yeah, of course. Bam. So what price don't you want to go below? Okay. Would you like me to give you a net sheet to show you a best case scenario on how much money you can make when you sell? They always say yes. Okay, great. So how much do you owe on the property? You need that information to draw up a net sheet. Would you believe that a lot of listing agents don't take net sheets with them to the listing appointment? It's okay if you haven't done it before in the past. You are forgiven. Go in peace. Okay. I've done it. Okay. In the past. Describe the home for me. That doesn't sound like a very important question. Now, remember what I said, 100% of the questions, 100% of the time. Okay. Describe the home for me. Corey, why do you think that's important?
That's going to help me figure out what type of personality I'm dealing with.
Personality type. Yep. DISC. Describe to me what the home looks like. They're going to be real short. You'll see it when you get here. It's going to be awesome. You'll see.
Yeah.
Come by. High D. They go on and on and on and on and on. They're talking about how beautiful it is, and they're going into every detail, Don. What personality type do you think they are then, Don?
They're an I.
High I. Okay. If you don't know this profile, get there. It's in the back of the playbook. Just, you know, our meeting should only take between 5 and 25 minutes. Is that okay? How would a meeting take only 5 minutes? Martin, you know?
I'd assume that you pre-qualified them prior to coming to the listing really, really well. So then it should take 5 minutes because of that.
Good guess. Janae, you know why it would take only 5 minutes for an appointment?
Because you've already pre-qualified them.
Okay. What about you, Don?
Pre-qualified them, send a list, pre-listing packet with information, and so they had a good idea what you were about and what you're going to offer them.
Right. Because what's in that pre-listing package, Corey?
Oh, that's going to have,
Price and terms.
yeah, I guess.
Okay. Contract.
Price, terms, contract review ahead of time, property
Comps.
condition disclosure, comps.
Comps, disclosure, contract, super high marketing plan. Super high C goes through it like a fine-tooth comb. Every now on a blue moon, every few years, it'll happen. You'll show up and they'll go, I'm ready to go. I'm good. I read everything. I see your marketing plan. I looked you up online. I went through the contract. I went through disclosures. I went through the comps. I'm good to go. Doesn't happen often, but good. Could happen pretty quickly. You send them everything they need to see, and they're not seeing the contract and the comps and the disclosures for the first time at the appointment. You're seeing all the information prior. How professional do you look? Very